So, in order to summarize a 7-day process, Earth cycle, into a 1-month process, lunar cycle, we have to go to the Quantum MeMoir website. And the fact that we just finished the first 7 days within a lunar cycle, this means that this is the first quarter attunement. So with this, we're going to be filling in these 2 spheres within the lunar cycle based on a summary of what we did right here in these 7 days. And this is essentially the notes section that we have within the OS3 ecosystem that translates the prompts from Quantum MeMoir into how we're creating our biomimicry business ecosystems. So the first quarter, let's just bring it back. So like these 2 spheres here are associated within the OS3 map with the intend, design, brand API, and groove to my home. So I'm going to be writing in the prompts from Quantum MeMoir here, summarizing what I did in the past 7 days, and then filling in these 2 spheres for the lunar cycle. So that's the process of taking 7 days and summarizing it within a lunar cycle. After reading through the Quantum MeMoir lunar cycle prompts for the intend sphere, really the intend sphere is an affirmation defining how you will accomplish your purpose. So I wanted to adapt this a little bit to exactly what I just did in the last 7-day process, the Earth cycle. So I just looked at that, and I'm going to turn the refined sphere. So really like the overall moral of the story, what was it that I was working for? And turning that into an I am statement or a we are affirmation that to fill in the lunar cycle. This is my 7-day process, my Earth cycle. This was my refined sphere. So like after working through all this, I was like, okay, this is what I was working on. So brought that clarity to me. And then with that clarity, now within the lunar cycle, so taking the 7-day up to 28 days, I am turning that 7-day reflection into this affirmation. We are building eco-succession goal-oriented games in geodesic seed starter stands. And this will play into the overall goal that I have for this lunar cycle. After filling in the intend sphere, next is to fill in the activate. And for Quantum MeMoir, went through this and it was talking about creating a manifest, which is a create list and a gratitude list, and then also creating a message for the activate sphere. For OS3, I did it by looking at my previous Earth cycle. I looked at my lunar cycle manifest that I created, and then I created a message that relates my 7-day process integrate sphere, and I bring it into the activate sphere. Because the activate sphere is meant to be, it's meant to symbolize the fulfillment of my lunar cycle purpose. So again, I looked over my 7-day cycle, and as I looked at this, I saw that my integrate sphere over the last 7 days was to go with the flow of my eternal nature. So I want to integrate that into my lunar cycle. So after creating my manifest list and creating my gratitude list, how does all of this, my previous 7 days, how does that tie into what I'm doing right now? So creating the GitHub governance pages. And really, it comes down to going with the flow of my eternal nature is going to allow me to do all these different things. So creating all these different investor pitches for all these different entities, creating floor plans and elevations for these seed starter stands. All of this is going to require me to go with the flow. Just to recap all of that, essentially all I did, I took the previous 7 days, and then with all of that summarized within the refine and the integrate sphere, I relayed these into the level above. So that's the lunar cycle, the 28 days that week fits within. So the previous 7 days is summarized within these 2 spheres. I created an I am affirmation in a plural. So we are building eco-succession goal-oriented games in geodesic seed starter stands. And then I created a message that conveys how I'm going to be working through this create list, this manifest list. And I'm going to be going with the flow of my eternal nature as I work towards the lunar cycle goal of creating these GitHub governance structures.